according to the privileged information I was able to get, I was able to access, they are saying that there's a time this incident happened. I will be unveiling all of this to you today in this video. Why the vibration crashed is $1 million Ferrari. What happened at the moment, the time at which this event, this bad incident occurred, what happened after then, and then before then, what really goes wrong, and every other stuff that we need to know. I will be revealing them to you in this video. I will ask you now to watch it to the end so you can get an insight into everything that I'm about to share and this about this unfortunate incident. Thank God no lives were lost, but of course it was a great loss on his part. Watch it to the end right now. Welcome back. So as I promised, I'm gonna be discussing this extensively to you according to the great privilege where information I was able to access, and these are quite very vital, and I'll be discussing them to you in this video. Okay, it's no longer in news, of course, and I thank God it wasn't a fatal, neither was it a gas to accident. It was just a little stuff. It's actually a little stuff, and I thank God that life was not lost, and both the body, everything is intact. Nothing came out unharmed, came out very good, in good conditions, and every other stuff like that. So let's go into this stuff. So as at on the 7th of February, of course, he did announce that he did announce about his stuff, about his. Alright, so as at that time, it was around the time was of course you all know that he held what we called FNE Forest Media Expo on 7th of February 2026. That same day, the program ended around 3:25, and he departed around 3:37. Yeah, right around 3:37, and then of course the program was quite impactful, inspirational, and very loaded. I was privileged to be there. He happens to be my mentor and one of my some of my other foreign mentors as well. I have just few of them. So it happens to be so. I was very much available at the place. I was live. I was there physically, of course, and it was quite impactful, meaningful, and insightful. So after then, of course, they had to guide him and of course leave and depart from the program. As at 3:38, he departed. He was in his car, and then he departed and then to go back to his lodge. And few minutes after that, not up to 5 minutes after that, the information got to me that he crushed his Ferrari. I was like, wow, $1.1 million Ferrari. Well, what happened to this, and why and how come this crash came about, and everything about this? Some people actually, from the many naysayers and the many views that I've been talking about, he was drunk. Some were even saying, he was drunk. Some were saying he shouldn't be using money to buy some kind of cars. Different different statements. People always cook on agenda and say something. What was never, you were never witness of this stuff. You were never even at the program. You never even have an idea about everything. You just come out and speak and say something. No, it shouldn't be. So as at that time, what got to me was that it was actually not all of those stuffs. The first thing was, at first he didn't really know what really happened. He just realized that he couldn't just explain that. Well, come on, this is not the first time driving my Ferrari. Of course, the Ferrari is more than 1 month old, newly bought. It's about around 1 month old. So definitely he has been driving it weeks in, weeks out. So how come on a sudden he has to just hit on something, and then the bumper and every other stuff were damaged? So of course it wasn't a part of all those naysayers. So as we look at this stuff, I got information that actually it was not either is not any out of those statements that people were saying, these agendas, people were just carrying it around. It was none out of it. and it was just like he could not really explain what really happened, what transpired. But he realized that he was about to put it on a race, of course on a drive order. And then, of course, you know, supercars now, they are always more. Yeah, you know that supercars are not like normal, normal Camry, Lexus, my Benz and the likes. So as usual, he put it on a normal drive that we would have put in it on, normal stuff that we would have placed it, normal stuff, and then of course normal. And the steering was just not willing. He wasn't just going which direction, like he has to struggle with steering. Come on, it was he kept tweeting somehow, but he couldn't really explain what was stop. And I stopped with it like, come, what the fuck? Then he has to just squash and smash it on something, and then that stopped. Something splashed on him, and I got sustained some fuse, stuff like that. But later on, after a couple of hours, he was able to explain that. He was able to gather information. He was able to get to aware that some settings from the steering was not handled well. Maybe when he left his car for the program, by the time he returned, a couple of hours that he returned, you know some of his people that guide his cars and stuff like that we didn't put some things in place properly. Those are meant to be off, we're not properly off. We are meant to be, so maybe that's why he probably didn't check them. And he said so he didn't let check them and just entered and drove off about to. And then realized that, oh, this is some of this, all these things are not normal cars. You know, a normal car, those kind of stuff would definitely not happen. You know, supercar, that's a supercar. Ferrari is not a normal car, your usual normal car now, if you know now. So that's a super car. So it requires some technicality, it requires some carefulness, it requires some placement and other stuff like that. So I believe that this person that put some of these stuffs into place will definitely have learned the lesson. And then of course next time also, I believe Jeff Benz will definitely check everything, because you know that this is not this regular Benz and G-Wagons and the like that. You have to check everything entirely to be sure that everything are in place, not on and off or any other stuff like that. Then things can be fine. So next time we'll definitely about it. But all in all, we want to thank God, and of course it was nothing. He didn't sustain any injury. It was just a good one, and he had to go for checkup in that same day. I guess that same day. I completed the next day, and then has to do a checkup, and of course everything was intact. And of course to definitely make the money back. You guys should know that. Definitely make the money back, come to the market, and let's do that. And then 500 million, of course gonna do a cash out, and then of course we pull out funds and make that back. And of course it's definitely too easy to fix. I think the amount he uses to fix that shit now will be around $600-700,000. That's crazy money. That's almost 60 to 70, 65% of the money he used to get into stuff. That more around 50 to 60%, sure. That's crazy, man. I wish him that he could see that money back on time, because trading is also emotional, and then the shit is not something easy. So it's not something without a lot of money. So I'm very, very happy that of course we didn't record something has to do. Oh, this basically as an accident is has been admitted also to one of the greatest and greatest appreciation that we could ever render, and thank God for. I was so happy that was not the story, neither was it the narrative, wasn't the story, any of that. We are really grateful for such a great one. So that is it on guys. So I want you to watch this video and tell me, for you, on your own opinion, from your own views, perspective, what do you think was the cause of this? What do you think was the reason, the strong why this crash, why he crashed his Ferrari? Let me know in the comment section and comment, and then drop it right here down. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye for now, guys.